started when I had a place for nursing training in Northampton in 1986. Um, and my mum put me in as a temp in a computer company, a big American corporate thing. And I'd never wanted to work in an office, but they couldn't find someone to come and work in the IT department. So they said, just find us somebody. And I went into this office and I absolutely loved it. I stayed there for 6 years and I never did my nursing. And it kind of turned me into a nerd. They were all nerds and they turned me into one too. I think it was a secret one. I just didn't know it. Lots of things happened. I actually started my freelancing time back then after I left there. I never really settled anywhere else. So I started contracting. So that was my first. It wasn't, you do sort of like 6 months and 8 months contracts. And it was kind of like the height of the IR35 stuff. So um, lots of people did it and it kind of started me in that. And after that, I never went back to really working for anybody. And when we met, I ran a garage with my husband. um, that we ran that for 17 years, and most people can't work with their other half. I absolutely loved it. We worked really well together. Um, but unfortunately, one thing on top of another, we lost the business. Everything went down the pan, and I thought, right, oh, I'll have to start again. I took a job, didn't work out. But as well as taking the job, I did start my own business. So I started with just a bit of freelancing, and me and another girl that I'd met online, Nick, we started Digital Fixers. And our goal was to help small businesses understand the tech. Now, we started Fixers 6 months before we went into lockdown. So actually, we had this wonderful audience there ready for us. For me, it's about helping people understand the tech, right? Because my biggest hate is when somebody goes and gets a website and they pay a fortune for it and it doesn't really do what they want it to do. It doesn't look like what they want it to look like. And they don't know how to fix it. They've got no skills to go in and change it. So I try to do things a bit differently and I work with people. How I've actually got to where I am now, um, Fixers Fixers was still running until very recently. We're putting it on hold for now because Nick's got a great job. So I'm now running the lesliewalsh.co.uk business. I've had them both running along parallel, but this gives me a better opportunity to focus on that one. So the kind of work I do now is more for small businesses. I will happily teach a small group of people how to do their marketing or how to word their website and how to just be seen, because that's such an important part of being a small business. There's hundreds of small businesses out there. How do we stand out from the crowd? The best way is to be yourself and to show people who you are, and that attracts people, right? People find that quite difficult as well, though. So I like to try and give it. So it used to be, I built your website or I fixed your problem, and I still do those things, but there's more comes with it now. So I will help you write your website. I will help you build your course. I'll teach you how to do the bits of maintenance. So you don't have to rely on me. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. And then I'll help you be visible. And a lot of that is about giving people confidence as well. So telling somebody to just say, oh, this is my business. Look at me, I'm great. Nobody wants to do that. But if you say to them, okay, what's the problem? What's the problem you fix thing, isn't it? It's not about how you help somebody. It's about how they feel afterwards. So I was helping a client the other day and she's got a beauty website. I'm teaching her how to do her own content and just to put her own pages up. And she's got it's like a list, it's like a bullet list of the things they do. And I'm like, no, you've got to make somebody feel good about it. So we changed the whole paragraph around and it was about the confidence you feel when you walk out of the salon, not about all the things they can do when you go there. And it's trying to get people to understand you don't have to be all like, oh, look at me. You're all like, this is how I can make you feel. And it's psychologically, it's quite difficult. But it's also difficult for people to say, I don't want to be the face of my business. What will people think? Because obviously I'm the face of my business. And you have to get to a point where you can be the face of your business and you can talk about it and you can talk about how you help people. So I guess it's giving people the confidence to do that has become part of the business. I think being yourself in your business is so important, and other people can sometimes make us think we shouldn't be ourselves, right? So I have one client and she's a bit sweary, right? No line, she's a little bit sweary. But that's her thing, okay? And she's got a free Facebook group, and she messaged me one night, and it was quite late. It was like 9 o'clock at night. She was really upset, and she said, "Oh, there's this lady in the group, and she keeps saying that she keeps sending her direct messages saying you'll go to hell if you swear like that. You need to stop it." I know, and she was upset. And she's like, "Should I stop swearing?" I said, "No, let me fix it." And I just booted the woman out of the free group because she was never going to be Joe's client, never. So if you try to be something you're not, you're actually going to disappoint your clients at some point. So you need to be yourself. You need to attract people that are the same type of people as you. There's no point in being a vegan business and looking for a butcher's to advertise your services. It's pick the people that are your people. It's so much easier to work with them as well. When it comes to pricing, it's so difficult, especially when you first start in business, because you're like, "Oh, I need the business, I'll just do it for 20 quid." Okay. But then people don't value you. And it's this point of like, you have to charge a certain amount, or people are going to go, "Oof, no, I'm not going to do that because it's only 20 quid for, whatever it is." So you need to look at what everybody else is doing, right? So we do look at each other's prices. You do not want to come in and undercut the rest of the world, because everyone will assume your service is rubbish, whether it is or not. Also, when you're starting out, you don't want to come in at the top. I find I'm not great at pricing. Okay, I'm staging it up a little bit at a time. Every time I get a new client, I put a little bit. I've been doing this 5 years, and I'm still going, "Oh, is that too much? Is that too little?" And it's, you will always get people that say, "Oh, that's too expensive." No, it's just not the service they want. And it's so important to value yourself. So many times we used to have a service called Can You Just? And basically somebody said, "Oh, can you just look at this for me?" And I go, "Yeah, I'll send you a quote." Because there's actually a job called Can You Just? Made it much easier. Because people go, "Can you just?" And you give your time over, and then nothing comes back. For me, you're better off putting yourself at if you're starting out, or you're looking to up your prices, put yourself at a mid-range. And if you feel that it's a bit too much, put a little bit more in the service, give them something extra in the service rather than discounting it. And that's the best way I can say, just don't do things for free. I know we all do it, but you've got to get to a point, because the other thing that somebody pointed out to me is, if you do something for somebody for free, the next time they'll go, "Oh, I won't ask them. I'll go get somebody to pay for it." So, you're much better off having a rough price guide in your head of how much you need, or how much you want, how much you should be earning, and work from that and try and stick to it. It's easier if you have a price guide. The kind of clients that put red flags up, they're maybe not necessarily people that say something, but they're a certain type. So maybe they only want to run. I mean, the classic one was, used to have, when Nick and I first started, we used to have people come to us and say, "I just need a Facebook ad." Nobody ever just needs a Facebook ad. That's like the last thing you need, right? So that was definitely a red flag, but it is definitely a type. They don't want to do anything but a bit of social media, and yet they want the business to boom. And yet you say to them, for me, being on Google is every bit as important, if not more important, than being on Facebook. Okay. if you're not on Google, I've never bought anything off Facebook, except maybe once something out of the marketplace once or twice. If I see something on Facebook, I'll go and find the website, because to me, it's this whole social proof thing, isn't it? It's like I need to know that the business isn't just, I mean, I've done all sorts. I'll go and look at them on Companies House and all sorts of things, depending on the amount of money I'm giving. But for some people who just want to sell on socials and sell to their friends and sell to their aunties, it's not really my kind of client. So they might think they want to work with me, but most of the time they don't really. I think getting out and meeting people is really important. Obviously, I'm reasonably active on LinkedIn. I haven't been for the last couple of weeks, but I'm usually reasonably active on LinkedIn. But I do like to go out and just interact with people. We were talking about an event we're going to in the near future, and that's a brilliant one. It's a massive room full of other women who all have a similar mindset, and we're all freelancers or small business owners, or we have that in common. And it just makes for such a good event, because you meet people, you interact with people, you can get clients. I mean, that is a really good way to meet clients. But if not, then you connect on socials, they see what you do, and it's probably a better lead magnet than anything else. Is going out, talking to people, getting excited about your business and what you do, and they see that. And again, it's the whole, you're attracting the type of people that want to work with you. And the people that don't want to work with you, I'll just go, oh, just go grab a coffee and not talk to that person. And it's fine. You can't work with everybody anyway. You can only work with a set amount of people. I do think referrals are really important. When I've had somebody do something good for me, I'll go on LinkedIn and talk about it. And I try and do that. I may even talk about this later. So I think if you give people a good service, the best thing that they can do is refer you. I actually do a lot of affiliate stuff. So software and hosting that I use, I'm an affiliate for. And that's just another kind of way of doing it. So referring people either for an affiliate link or just because they did a really good job is so important. I had one on LinkedIn. It must have been last year, and he was in a group that I'm in, and somebody said to me, "Oh, can you go and help this guy, because he's got problems with his DNS." Now, I know my DNS, I'm not going to lie. The pro His site had been down for 3 months, right? He couldn't edit the DNS because he didn't have access to it. And the hosting company that had it said he did. They're like, "Well, we've mailed you." And he's going, "You haven't." And this had gone on for 3 months. So he messaged me and I said, "Right, let's have a look." So I did all the nerdy stuff. I'm not going to go through it. I did all the nerdy stuff, and I fixed his problem in 3 minutes. I told him exactly what it was. He got onto the hosting company and they had it fixed in minutes. And I was really proud of that one. But he knew about me, because as soon as he said he had that problem, everyone went, "Oh yeah, message Lesley." Yes, I have said no to people. One, it was because I'd worked with him before, and I knew it was much harder work than it looked like it was going to be. And it was down to him. He never gave things on time, and he made unrealistic deadlines, and he changed the plan at the last minute. So when he came back to me at some point and said, "Oh, can you do this for me?" I went, "I'm really sorry. I'm busy for the next 3 months." Um, that's a nice feeling, because being able to say no to those red flag clients is so important. It's beyond valuable, and it's also a really nice feeling, and it builds your confidence. Nobody's going to get there in the first year or so. Well, maybe you might be that lucky, but most people, it's going to take a year or two to get to the point where you're getting referrals and people are coming to you and you have the ability to say, "I don't think that one's for me." Giving up your day job and the money coming in to follow your side hustle, as it usually is at the start, is a really difficult choice to make. And I mean, to be fair, when I started doing this, we just lost the business. So I didn't really have a lot of choice. It was foisted upon me. And, here I am 6 years later, and I'm doing okay. But it wasn't instantaneous. In fact, I also went and got a job at Waitrose for a while. And you know what? I was doing Waitrose from 6 till 12, and then coming home and doing an afternoon of content and stuff like that. So it's it's down to your situation. The number of people that I've spoken to that have been made redundant, right? Brilliant time, because you've got some money in the bank to get yourself started. I would also say still start on bootstrapping, right? Because I've never started a business with a big chunk of money. Apparently some people do, right? But nobody I work with has ever done that. So you start your bootstrapping, you build it bit by bit, and as you build, you learn. Oh boy, do you learn. And you're going to make mistakes as well. And some of those mistakes will haunt you for years. But we all make the mistakes, and that's the important part. Balancing when you do this is a very personal decision. Like I say, mine was foisted upon me. But freelancing isn't the easiest thing in the world, right? Because you do it because you do the thing you love, right? I do it because I love helping small businesses, and I love building websites. That would be my hobby if it wasn't my job. But I also have to do accounts and market my own business, and training, personal growth and development. I have to do all those things, which it's not what I came for. I came to build websites, but it's not all fun and games. So there's a lot involved in running your own business. Big part of that is going around and going, hey, look at me, I'm great. Or look at my business, I'm great. And it's hard. And I don't think everybody realizes how hard it is. If you are determined, and if you can see your path, you know what you want to do, you know why you want to do it, then being freelance is wonderful, because you set your own rules. If I need to go and pick one of the kids up, they're grown kids now, but when I was doing this when they were younger, this is why I worked for myself. My oldest is autistic, and so we had lots of appointments and lots of school appointments and lots of other things that meant I couldn't work to 9 to 5. I tried it didn't work. So it's a balance. Setting my own hours, doing what I want to do, getting my own life work balance, versus having to do accounts and things like that I don't really want to do, and all the other businessy stuff that I don't really want to do. But if you're going to make the choice, I wouldn't do anything else now. Yes, I suffer from imposter syndrome. It's better at the moment. Sometimes it's really bad, sometimes it's not so bad. There's a lot of reasons that people get things like that. When I left the job that I did, that I didn't enjoy, I just he had beat me dead. The guy that I worked for, I was beaten down. I was absolutely destroyed. And I was working with Nick, and every time I did a social media post, I'd phone her and go, is this all right? And she was like, please stop doing that. It's much better now. I still get it. So if I'm looking to somebody who wants a website, I'm like, oh, why do they want it from me? Actually, I'm quite good at doing websites, but I will still question, well, why are they coming to me and not that person? It's better now that my business is established. It's much better. Early on in the business, there would be days I would be sitting there going, I wouldn't come to me, why would somebody else come to me? And the thing, how do I get past that? How I get past that is I go, look at all the lovely clients I have got and I have helped, right? And they all like me. And if someone doesn't like me, they can step back. I'm not gonna be offended by it, but they don't really, do they? So I work with people. I have a membership group. I have other freelancers that I regularly work with, and they come back and we do more stuff. So, I can't be that bad, is kind of how I go with it. Quite often, if I'm going to, I quite often do just little speaking things, one of the networking groups that I go to. I'll always do it if there's if there's nobody up or if I haven't done it for a while. And without fail, my stomach is in knots. I get anxious, my heart rate goes up, I get hot and sweaty. And I'll be walking to the event, right? I'll park my car and I'm doing a little walk. I'm like, I'll just go home, I'll just go home. And then it's like, if you go home, you will regret this. You will be sorry tomorrow. And that is the thing that makes me do it, is I remind myself what I will feel like, A, once I've done the talk and the adrenaline's rushing and I feel great, and B, the next day. Because if I don't go, I'm just going to feel like such a numpty the next day. I'm not very good at gratitude journaling and stuff like that. But my biggest problem used to be I get to the end of the day and I'd say to myself, and actually my husband would go, "Oh, have you got much done?" And I'd always go, "No, no, I haven't." And I'd always feel like I haven't achieved anything. It would get to Friday and I'd still not achieved anything. But I started using Toggle. And what that does is that lets me go, "Oh, look, actually now I spent 4 hours teaching on Monday and I spent this doing that on Tuesday." So that's kind of like my little gratitude thing, is I look at what I've done in a week and go, "Oh, look how much I've achieved." And it just twists it round from the whole, "I've done nothing," which is always what I felt like. When I first got ChatGPT, I was just like, I don't even know what to do with it. Um, so I spent time looking at what other people were doing with it and following the people that were ahead of me. Now I use it every day, right? It is never not open. Things that I use it for. My son will come and ask me a random question about something that I don't know the answer to. So we'll have a chat with, I call him Gary. My chat GP is called Gary. So we'll have a chat with Gary. Sometimes I will ask advice because the washing machine's broken, or, all these little things just make my life easier. Another thing, recently diagnosed with ADHD. So it helps me make decisions. I might do something on a web page and it's okay, but it doesn't look great. So I'll throw it into ChatGPT. How can I make this look a little bit better? Right. I'm a web developer, not a web designer. So I've never done design courses or anything, but I know when it doesn't look right and I can use ChatGPT to help me fix it. I'm also supporting I'm doing a course with another group and I'm helping the learners, and that's about creating a product and an AI, using AI to create a product, that an app, a little mini app. And it's brilliant because these people are coming in and some of them haven't used very much AI, and we're showing them how to use it and how to get the best out of it and how to build good prompts, and it works. And that they're all like, I mean, they come in and they're like, "Oh, well, I've used it a little bit and I use a bit," and they go and they're like, they're using it to help their business move forward, to help them build new products, to help them build their ideal client. And all of these things, it's like, I know how to do these things in my head, but actually doing them myself for my business is really hard. Using ChatGPT, other AIs are available, and I am using other ones as well now. I was very much ChatGPT, but I've got Gemini now as well, and I'm using some other ones to do different things, because that's the other thing, they all are good at different things. One of the most important things you will need to grow as a freelancer is the ability to price yourself. And this goes, we touched on this already. But if you can't charge people and charge people for the work you've done, then you're not going to get very far. There is a lot of when you look at an hourly rate, and we try and bill by project, not rate, okay? But if you're billing by like an hourly rate, you've got to remember your tax has got to come out of that, your insurance, your VAT, if you're VAT registered, your everything, all your software, all your accountancy software, paying your accountant, all of that has to come out of this hourly rate. And there's hours that you're not working, right? So when you're working on your accounts, nobody's going to pay you to do that. So you have to have some of the money that comes out of your hourly rate. If you're charging 20 quid an hour, you're below minimum wage, in all honesty. So it's so important to understand your own value and not undercut yourself, not undervalue yourself. And and it takes time. You have just got to be patient. It is so hard because people look at your previous work. So if you've not done much work, it is hard. If you've come from the industry, that's okay because you've got industry contacts. But if you're like brand new on the scene, so me, right? Okay, I'd had a garage for 17 years, and then I worked in Waitrose for a bit, and then I worked for another place that I don't like talking about. And then I went into, I'm going to build websites and help you with your digital marketing and do all these other things. And it's really hard at first. So get thick-skinned, talk about yourself, get out there, meet people, tell people how you fix their problems. Work can be very feast or famine, and I think that happens to all of us. I'm rubbish with money. I'm not going to lie. I've got an accountant friend, and she's trying to help me get better. I'm constantly trying to get better at these things. But there's months where I've got, a reasonable amount of money. I go, right, quick, pay some tax and put that away, and then there's other months where I go, right, well, that money that I put away, I'm going to have to get back out. And it's so hard. And my situation is my husband doesn't work because he's got mobility issues. So I'm the main breadwinner. So when I'm not earning money, it's the problem. However, it's another one of those things that does get better over time. When I'm doing a website, right, I don't ask for all the money in one go, right? So we get a bit up front, a bit at the halfway point, and a bit at the end, and that helps. I have a membership. So every month there is a small amount of money comes in from the membership. I also work with one-to-one. So I will try and maybe get you on a 6-month retainer. And it might just be 6 months to build your website and get your kick started, and the cost of the website will be built into that 6 months, but it helps me spread it, and it also helps the customer because they're not paying for it all in one go. I think it's really important when you are a freelancer to connect with other freelancers. There's a lot of reasons for it. One, it means you don't quite feel like you're working on your own. And I find there's a lot of networking groups based around freelancers. You might be online and meet occasionally, but it's really good to connect with those other people because you can't do this on your own. I've got a VA and I've got an accountant. Brilliant. Could not. I mean, they have taken so much pressure off me in the last few months. It's amazing. But I also work with other freelancers, graphic designers, right? Branding experts. I'm not a brand. I can do the branding. Okay, I'll do a basic one, but I'll always tell you, take it to the next level with somebody who is qualified. And I work with copywriters because it's really important to have good copy. I can do okay copy, but if you want good copy, pay a copywriter, okay? And all these other things that you can work with other people to get the best for your client, okay? And it's not just about somebody will pull me in to fix a website problem. It might be that I've got a client and I'm doing their website, but they need something else that I can't do, okay? I'll pull in one of the many freelancers that I'm friends with and connected with on LinkedIn. And if I don't know anyone, I might go to a group and go, who can you recommend? And because I know so many people in my industry and in connecting industries, I can usually find you somebody. It could be, when you first start doing it, it can be a bit awkward. People are always worried about, oh, well, what if they try and steal my business? But that's why we make these connections, and that's why we get to know each other. I would never come and steal your business, okay? You're my friend. You wouldn't like me. Why would I do that to somebody? Of course, there's people out there that might do that, but you'll know if you get to know people on LinkedIn, and somebody would tell you, right? If they're good people, if they're your people, work with them. And we touched earlier about handing clients off that you don't want, okay, depending on the reason. Obviously I wouldn't take a red flag client and hand it off to somebody new, but I might look at a job and go, ooh, that's a bit too e-commercey for me, I'll give it to this web designer that I know. And we do that because I trust them, they trust me, and if there's something that they don't want to do, they might hand it back to me. So getting to know, it's not like when you still get a bit of it, people going, oh, I don't want anyone to know what I'm building. Honestly, if people know, they're just going to encourage and help you, right? And I think that's the atmosphere that we've created now. It's much more about collaboration and less about competition. Over the next 5 years, I do want to grow my business. As I said before, I kept it kind of like a nice balance while the kids were younger. They're 17 and 20 now. So I don't need to do that anymore. So for me, I want to grow my membership group. And I no longer, so it used to just be about helping them with SEO and tech stuff like that, but it's all sorts of things now. It's helping them grow as businesses. So we call them coaching calls, right? We're not coaches, okay? We're kind of like, we use the bossy mom method, okay? So I do a lot of co-working sessions. People turn up. If they've got a problem, we workshop it. If not, we just get on with some work. We do our social media. We try and do some blogging. And it's about I want to build that community. I want to grow it so that I mean, there's days when I'm not on there, but they help themselves, they help each other, which is fantastic. So I definitely want to grow that side of it. Um, I'm not looking to employ. I've done the employing people thing, right? I work with other freelancers. So for me, working with when I'm building a website, working with brand designers and copywriters, and that's the kind of stuff I love doing when I'm creating a project and working with somebody else. And at the end of the day, the client comes away happy. That's always my goal, really.